Hey, it's Darik from Now 100.5 with another edition of Instagood while we're staying at home, brought to you by justserve.org. Today, we're going to talk to Jackie from Break the Gap in Sacramento. It's a nonprofit organization, and they're there to break the social impact on poverty and homelessness through art, creative outreach, and resource allocation to reshape a world of coexistence. Jackie is going to explain to us what the organization does and what that means. We're here with Jackie from Break the Gap here in Sacramento now. Break the Gap wants to institute a social impact on poverty and homelessness through art, but it's not just art. What else is it, Jackie, that you guys do to break that gap?
Yeah, absolutely. It's creative outreach and resource allocation. So that social impact is what's huge for us. So the reason why it's not just like a regular outreach for us, we call it creative outreach because it's more like social events. So it's like that, bringing that social interactions from our volunteers who are from all backgrounds, all economic and social backgrounds, and then those amongst the street who are experiencing homelessness. So just our outreach is bringing everyone together through like different social interactions at the same time that we're giving back, like doing serving food or whatever it is, but we also bring different avenues to it.
Is it people of all ages? Is there an age group that you focus on, or a type of person or group that you focus on?
Yeah, so for our volunteers, typically it is our youth that we're impacting. That's a community that we're trying to bring on to volunteer with us. It's our youth from all economic and social backgrounds.
And how has COVID-19 and of course the stay-at-home orders more recently affected these social events? Because you said that you do those, but the question is, have you had to, modify the way that you go about doing it?
Oh yeah, absolutely, Darik. This COVID, as we all know, has just changed all of us, our event producers, because I also do I'm also an event producer, just art shows, everything has just completely changed. So we noticed within our mission, it has become difficult and it has tried to put a stop on it, but we still go out there. We make sure we're compliant and doing, 6 feet distancing through our volunteers, or just being face masks, gloves, all of that. But at the beginning, when this first started, we put a stop to all activities. And it was only some of us that would go out there individually, and still do those one-on-one social connections. Like, how are you doing? So as far as our big events, we have not been able to do many of them. We probably literally had 2 this year, but we are consistently going out there and outreaching it, but we're not announcing it because we're not really allowed to,
So I was at breakthegap.org and I noticed that you guys do donation drop-offs for clothing, as you said, resource allocation, and there's an art initiative. Tell us about the art initiative and what that means. It's when people think of art, it's not just painting, drawing, it's music, right?
Yeah, absolutely. So I'm a huge artivist. I believe that it's art to be human, so I really want to bring that perspective to our unhoused community. Like, hey, you're a piece of art. I know there's something inside of you that you were created to do here on earth. So with our art initiative, we have a platform called Break the Mic. And it's a fundraising series, but also we open it up to those amongst the street who are artists. We found people who do poetry. We found people amongst the street who are literally amazing drawers. We just found so many people. And with that, we're creating a platform to bring these people in and, bring them into our society and show them on a different spotlight. Like, hey, this is who they really are, not what they're experiencing, So
Sure.
That's what the art initiative is about.
And what about your street outreach? What does that mean?
Yeah, so our street outreach is how we go out there every Saturday and we're just outreaching. We go out there with church in the park. So that is our street outreach. Anybody who wants to go out there and experience or get a different perspective of what it's like, we go out there, we serve every Saturday. We serve food, drinks, hot cocoa, all of that.
And you guys also have a mentoring program as well. What happens in the mentoring program?
So with the future programs, that's a huge part of our vision as far as our mentor program, what it's
that's the future project. Okay.
Yeah, future project. So also on there, the only thing that's being currently implemented is our bike share equity program, which if you see on the website, it's just a bike share equity program. So for the mentor, we want to kind of like all of us, when we see something and we want to go after it, what's the first thing we should do is get a mentor, So with our people amongst the street who are ready to take that transition back into society, we have seen the possibility of a mentor program. Find people who have the heart to serve those amongst the street and do those one-on-one mentorship program to transition back into society.
Other than the regular and consistent things that you guys do at Break the Gap, are there any special holiday or Christmas events that you have coming up or initiatives that you have going on?
Yes, I love that you asked us. Yes, Christmas, actually this Saturday. So our part of doing a part of the mission where we serve those who are least fortunate, we came across a lot of families who couldn't afford gifts for their children, you know, all of those things, which I remember when I was younger, my parents themselves, they had signed up for a toy drive because it was during the recession. Like I'm 21 years old, like they were able to get us gifts, you know, and so I'll never forget the impact of receiving a gift from that program. So this year is our second annual one. We were going to have a drive-through, but because of COVID restrictions, we are now doing it virtually. We have over 50 families signed up. So we're very excited. It's not just us giving away gifts and gift cards. It's us creating an experience of Christmas that everyone deserves to experience, even anybody, you know. So we're opening that up to anybody, and then we'll be serving Christmas Day out on the streets as well. So.
Jackie, you're the founder of Break the Gap. How long ago did you start this organization?
Yeah, so I started Break the Gap March 2019. I was 19 years old, and it was one of those things that took so much faith. I had no idea what I was doing. I had no idea what a nonprofit was, but I received this vision that I couldn't unsee, which was a world of coexistence and social equality by breaking every stigma that's keeping people from accessing who they truly are. And yeah, it's almost 2 years now, and it's been a hell of a journey.
Do you believe that the stigma that we're talking about, do you believe that a lot of it has to do with socioeconomic inequalities and differences? Is that the kind of the main focus in Break the Gap?
Oh yeah, absolutely. It's the economic gap. We believe that we want to turn the economic pyramid into a circle, because when we look at the way things are set up, like we automatically think someone who has more is more because we put their value to what they have, you know, and that's absolutely not true. So yeah, Darik, it's such a huge thing that we're trying to break. That's why our solution to it is it's social. We're bringing that social thing to it. Yeah.
Do you have a moment in your organization? I know it's a couple of years old now. Is there a moment that you're really proud of or that really moved you, where you said, I know that I founded this organization and I know I'm on the right track? What was that moment?
I would say seeing, there's just so many moments, but one moment is seeing people actually be willing to change. About our most recent, like, I'm not going to say big event because obviously we're not allowed to have a big event, but our most recent outreach where we had games, we went out there and we brought games. And I'll never forget the moment where Gabe looked at me and he was like, we feel like actual human beings when you guys come out here. And it was us being out there for months that they began to open up, because they said people come out here all the time and they service and they just sleep, but you guys actually come out here and you guys hang out with us and you guys treat us like actual people. And that's where I just heard God, like, and I just felt this like moment of like, this is it. You're right here. You're exactly where you're called to be. And because there's times where like it's hard, like homeless ministry is hard, and it was definitely impactful. It was a crazy moment.
Recognizing people's humanity and breaking the gap and creating more equality. That's amazing. Jackie, thank you so much for joining us. Is there anything else you wanted to add before we roll out?
No, just if you guys would like to join us Saturday for our virtual experience, you guys are more than welcome to. You can find that on our page on Instagram by going to our link tree. And yeah.
Fantastic. Jackie, thank you again for joining us. We really appreciate the time.
Absolutely. Thank you, Darik, for having me.
Thanks again to Jackie from Break the Gap here in Sacramento. She's uniting humanity worldwide and doing her part to reduce the inequities socially in the area and uniting people. So we appreciate her so much. For more information, go to breakthegap.org. It's another edition of Instagood, brought to you by justserve.org and now 100.5.